You are listening to Dark Conversations, where we talk about the things that keep us up at night.
Where horror, paranormal, and crime collide together. Nothing's ever quite what it seems.
Tonight, we're stepping into the dark, so turn your lights off.
Get comfortable and
let's dive into the abyss. So our draw was Common Talk to Cryptids and Deliverance, the movie.
Yep. Which, on that, I watched a different Deliverance than she did, and then I watched the same Deliverance she did, so I have two Deliverances to talk about.
Well, I only have one, so I guess I'll get started.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one first, then I'll talk about the other one that I watched.
Okay, first off, I didn't intend to watch this, and it's not really because it's a demon movie. It's the correlation of the demon house.
Which is a really good show. I really enjoyed it.
But a lot of people actually didn't like it. Of course, you get the skeptics. But then you got the other ones that are like, well, eh.
Yeah.
But I liked it. No, I believed what happened and it really did happen. But not to this family, sorry.
No. Watching the movie and figuring out that it was part of the demon house, I was like, oh, you have so many inconsistencies in the movie that it's ridiculous. Like, they changed the house in the movie.
Well, they do that in all movies. Because The Conjuring's a way different house. It's not a 2-story, single
Yeah, it's
house.
a longer
house. Longer house. And it is 2 stories, but you can't tell. I think they do that as a scare factor. Because a lot of people are scared of 2-story houses.
Lock being one of them. I will never get a house with a basement. Won't happen. And if it has a basement, that basement's getting locked and I ain't ever going down there. Not happening.
What if your washer and dryer hookups are down there?
I'll be going to somebody's house. Because knowing my luck, it'll be one of those really creepy ones with the swingy lights that you gotta
that you see in every single horror movie.
You know that's my luck.
Anyways, I like watching The Demon House because I also like Zach Bagans. I like watching his other shows. He does have more than just Ghost Adventures. I was kind of waiting on this movie since he talked about it in his documentary. It's been so long, I kind of forgot about it, to be honest, that they mentioned it. The Demon House came out, though, in 2019, the show.
I watched it when it first came out.
Deliverance came out in 2024, I think. But he bought the house in 2014, so it took him from 2014 to 2019 to release his little clip. With that, they were talking about the movie deal in his documentary, which he was filming in 2014. Mm-hmm. So why did it take this pretty much 10 years to make this movie?
They had to come up with a storyline. I know that it said based on a true story, and normally when they do based on, they just pull little things out, but they went so over the top with it, it was ridiculous.
Well, it's not that they went over the top with the whole jump scares or anything like that.
And not even the jump scares.
There was barely jump scares. They didn't add enough paranormal activity stuff.
It felt more like a psychological horror than it did a paranormal. It felt like the little boy was a murderer and not a ghost.
There wasn't even like little bitty jump scares for me, so
I don't think I jumped once, and I jump a lot in movies.
And for how long it took for them to even, I guess, film, because I didn't look up when they started filming. I just looked up when the movie came out. I think for how long as it took, they should have done a lot better. And then, of course, there's things in the movie they shouldn't have added or changed, which, like, why did she die in the movie, but she didn't die in real life? Like, I mean, that would suck if she really did die in real life. But, I mean, why couldn't her mom live in the movie if she was still alive? Well, that's all I have on The Deliverance that I watched.
It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie. I won't watch it again.
I would not watch it again.
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but if you happen across it and you're bored. The Deliverance that I watched is about 4 friends who go on a canoe trip in the remote wilderness of Georgia. They encounter unexpected threats in the wild. Basically, the complete opposite of what we watched. And I also hated it. It was like 1974 or something when this movie was filmed. It's one of those old school horror movies that like drag on and on. Some of the scenes didn't even add to the movie. Like, they were very pointless scenes to be in a horror movie. It also just felt dragged out.
Okay, well, our topic 2, Common Talked Cryptids. So, do you want to go first?
I will go first. I looked up the Mongolian death worm, or known locally as, hold on, I have a Alagorka.
Is that how you actually say that, or do you say it all together?
You say it all together, but Alagorka, which literally means large intestine worm in Mongolian. It's one of the most famous mysterious cryptoids from the Gobi Desert. It's described in local folklore as a bright red, thick-bodied, limbless creature about 2 to 5 feet long with a shape likened to a cow's intestine. Witnesses say it mostly lives underground in the arid sands and only surfaces occasionally, often for rain or water. Local stories claim that it can kill at a distance. It spews corrosive yellow acid-like venom that instantly kills anything it touches. Do you know what this is slightly reminding me of?
What?
The worm from SpongeBob. Or by discharging electric shocks like a natural weapon to the stun. Yeah. Pretty creepy. Over the years, expeditions have tried to find evidence of the worm. Czech explorer Ivan Merkel led searchers in the 1990s that used vibration devices and even small detonations to try and lure the creature out of the sand without finding any proof. In 2005, a team from the Center for Fortean Zoology also combed large parts of the Gobi and concluded that while it's a fascinating legend, there's no physical evidence supporting the creature's existence. Modern science generally views the Mongolian deathworm as a myth or folklore rather than a real undiscovered species. Some researchers think that the sightings might be misidentified known animals. They either think it's a sand boa or a different type of snake. There is literally no actual sightings of this thing.
Oh, okay.
Like I tried to find some. There is no literal. It is literally a legend. Like it is a folklore cryptoid in the Gobi Desert. There's no evidence of it. There's no.
How did this even become a story then?
I know this is a common talked about cryptoids, but we've done a lot of common talk cryptoids so far. But yeah, so I looked into that, and it's commonly talked over there, but like there's nothing on it. Like I'm starting to realize that most of these cryptoids, except for like Bigfoot,
have like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am starting to realize that as well.
And it's kind of funny to me, just a little bit. Okay, what's yours?
What do you think is the most common cryptoid?
Bigfoot, or the Loch Ness Monster, or Mothman.
Okay, you ready to hear it?
Sure.
I did the top 10.
Top 10. Ooh.
I'll start with 10 and go up.
Okay.
Loveland Frog Man. The Kraken.
I forgot that the Kraken would technically be a cryptoid. Yeah.
Skinwalkers. Fresno's Nightcrawler. The Jersey Devil.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that one.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Yay!
Comes in at 5. Chupacabra.
I forgot about the Chupacabra!
Number 3, Wendigo. Number 2, Mothman. Number 1, Bigfoot.
That was my first one that I said.
The one that I most hear about, of course, is Skinwalkers, and I feel that it's over talked about.
Pull Skinwalkers into media now. It was zombies, and now it's Skinwalkers.
Now, I also think that people get the Wendigos and the Skinwalkers mixed up as well.
Yeah. Because they're kind of similar, but not really.
But the way people say they encounter a Skinwalker sounds more like a Wendigo.
Yes.
The other thing that also is very talked about is, of course, Bigfoot. But the one that I'm going to talk about, the Banshee.
Oh, Banshee!
I actually like that one.
I like the story of a Banshee.
Oh yeah, what's the story?
From what I remember of a story, is Banshees are cursed women who have had some tragic past happen to them, and they use their voice to get back at men.
No, because that's what I thought too. Very similar, except for it wasn't.
Maybe that's a siren.
Into it.
No, not a siren.
A siren does.
Incubus. No, incubus is the succubus.
And still no. See, I didn't really talk about it in my thing because I actually have it in a different area as well. The one thing I remember about the Banshee is this C-rated movie that I love to watch, which I put it on the other day. I will tell you how I thought the Banshee was, and then in my other part, I'll tell you what the Banshee actually is.
Okay.
She is a beautiful person or an old woman. But she would appear slowly to you to lure you away from everyone. Then the banshee would scream, and then you die. And that's how you knew you were about to die, because of her scream. Yeah, but it's not really a good sign to see her, no matter what. So, but that's pretty much all I have. Do you want to do your secret first? Do you want me to do mine?
I'll do my secret first, because my secret isn't that good. It's a movie. Yeah, I got another movie. It's called Malevolent, and I don't even think I got the right movie, to be honest with you.
Malevalent?
Mm-hmm. But it follows a brother and sister team who run a business claiming to remove ghosts and spirits. They travel to isolated houses and use tricks to convince clients that they're dealing with the supernatural. But when they take on a case at a particularly eerie and remote house, things start to feel different. It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta watch that like 20 times. I'd watch it again if you put it on, but I'm not like, woo.
Favorite movie?
Yeah.
You don't even watch movies.
I know. So does that tell you? Just people conning people, and then they got in over their heads and actually found a ghost, and they got freaked out. I don't remember if they died or not. I don't think they died. Made some very bad decisions. But yeah, that's...
Or my secret is scariest cryptids.
Oh my goodness, we doubled up on this episode.
I told you that's how I figured out what my 9 was. Is because they're the same. I have 2 and 2.
Oh, is this why you were talking about the banshee?
Now, I didn't do a top 10 on the scariest one at all. But no, the 2 that I picked isn't in people's top 10s. Now, it's not the scariest, I don't think. But in my opinion, it's kind of up there for me. The sirens. Which they are beautiful mermaids in a way. And then once they lure you in with their song, then they snatch you underwater and kill you. And it doesn't matter who you are.
I always thought sirens just went after pirates.
And it said that their music was so beautiful and everything that it kind of just puts you in a trance. Sirens or mermaids in general, they're pretty creepy. Have you seen the videos of real mermaids?
They're not pretty.
Yeah.
They're terrifying.
Yeah. So,
which makes sense. I'm sorry. It's a fish creature. It's not gonna be pretty. Have you ever seen a cute fish besides a koi?
See, mermaids are always depicted as half human, half fish.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them now, it's terrifying.
How I always imagine a mermaid is what like they show in Harry Potter. Those like people. Because that makes more sense than literally cutting somebody in half.
Well, not really, because it's the Minotaur. They're half human and half horse.
Yeah, they're... God, could you imagine what that actually looked like? Maybe they got the proportions wrong. Maybe it's a horse upper half and a human lower body.
I wouldn't doubt if that's actually still a cryptid. I mean, there's the pig man.
Let's not talk about Sam Harris, man.
Okay, so my other one is the banshee.
Boop, boop.
I didn't really do a lot on any of them, but it is an Irish folklore, but it's a woman that appears very beautiful or as a hag, but usually when you hear her scream, you don't know if you are going to be the one that's going to die or if someone you know is going to die.
So it's just hey, death coming.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is. And it's not her coming after you to kill you. It's you hear her scream, something's going to happen to someone. I mean, that still would be kind of crazy to hear that. She is depicted as having long hair and wearing a cloak over a dress. And her eyes are also red from continuous crying.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Isn't a banshee called the Wailing Woman?
I'm sure it is, but it didn't say that when I was doing the research. I didn't do much of the research. I was more focused on my deep dive.
Oh, this is the one you're doing your deep dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have
Which I thought was going to be kind of long, but I mean, I guess it's not. I mean, it might. I don't know. It's not as long as my last one.
I have a deep dive as well, but I will...
Anyways, for the banshee, she also has a more sinister look. And it's her as an old woman with rotten teeth, long fingernails, and her eyes are so hateful looking, they would cause immediate death if you've seen it.
Is that where the saying "if looks could kill" comes from?
Probably. I don't know, but that's a good thing to look up.
Look at me being on top of my mental skills today.
Do you want to do your deep dive first?
I will do my deep dive first. Mine's kind of cool. Mine are over the black-eyed children. I have all of the information down, so I'm just going to read what I have down.
Read as you go.
Read as I go. So, the Legend of the Black-Eyed Children, BECs, is a relatively modern urban legend that emerged in the 1990s. The first widely reported encounter was documented by journalist Brian Bethel in Abilene, Texas, in 1996. Bethel described an unsettling encounter with two boys who knocked on his car window late at night. They asked for a ride, but somehow something about them felt wrong. He reported that their eyes were completely black and that he experienced an intense sense of dread and unease. After Bethel's article, the story quickly spread online and became a recurring topic in paranormal discussions, forums, publications, solidifying the legend in modern folklore. Since then, hundreds of alleged sightings have been reported in the U.S. and abroad.
Interesting. I've never heard that before.
According to accounts, they are typically described as being between 6 and 16 years old, eyes entirely black, including sclera and iris, which gives them an unnatural, empty appearance. Their clothing is often old-fashioned, plain, or too formal for their age.
That almost sounds like the Children of the Corn.
Little bit. But also what it reminds me of is, remember when we were talking about the Denver airport?
Yeah.
And those strange people with the black guys, and what if these are their children?
I mean, it could be.
Their demeanor is polite, calm, soft-spoken, but with a feeling of malice or unnatural confidence. And their voices are often monotone or unusually mature for a child, which adds to the creepiness. They normally appear at night or in low light conditions. They request to enter your home, your car, or your business, often insistent politely but persistently. So let me in, let me in, let me in. They instill fear or compulsion in witnesses, making people feel uneasy or tempted to comply despite the distrust. They vanish suddenly as if refused or ignored. And then I have some sightings. So Bethel was the first in Albany, Texas in 1996. Felicia
What did you just say?
Brian Bethel, Albany, Texas in 1996.
1996?
First sighting, 1996.
Thought it'd be older than that, but okay.
Felicia Allen in the 2000s. A woman reported two children knocking on her door late at night. Their eyes were pitch black and they refused to speak when she demanded their names. Andrew Gable. Another 2000s. A man recounted seeing a group of 4 children in a parking lot who seemed to glide toward him rather than walk, disappearing into the night. The Colorado highway sightings in 2010. This was on anonymously reported online. A driver claimed that they pulled over to help 2 children wearing plain clothes standing by the roadside around dusk. The children asked if they could use the phone, but when the driver looked closer, their eyes were all black like deep pits. The witness reported an unexplained fear response, saying that they felt physically cold and uneasy. Before the driver could offer help, the children disappeared into the darkness without any sound. Illinois driveway incident, another anonymous one. The homeowner reported that 2 kids knocked on their door around 11 p.m. asking to use the bathroom. They spoke politely, but their behavior was described as calm in a strange way. When the witness peeked out the window, both children's eyes looked completely black. The witness refused entry, and the children didn't argue. They simply walked away and were gone almost instantly. There was no tire tracks, footprints, or traces of where they headed. The Canadian truck stop encounter. A truck driver reported being approached by a young boy near a rest stop late at night who asked for a ride to the next town. The boy spoke clearly but unnervingly. When the driver turned on the cab light, the boy's eyes were all pitch black. The driver says he felt an intense urge to let the boy in, but immediately felt uneasy and declined. When he looked back a moment later, the boy was gone. The Georgia playground sightings. Multiple reports. Several reports from people passing by a defunct playground at night involved children lingering or playing silently. Witness describes approaching the edge of the playground and seeing figures with pitch black eyes standing or sitting perfectly still. Some reporting hearing no laughter or movement, just silence. When approached, the figures dissolved into shadows or melted away in between the swings and slides.
That's a little creepy.
It was so cool. Like, they are all literally the exact same. They asked for this, refused, disappeared. Asked, refused. So there's some theories. Some believe that the black-eyed children are demons or interdimensional beings that feed on fear or negative energy. Their insistence on entry mirrors folkloric tales of changeling children or spirits that swap places with real children. So those are the two like paranormally or outwardly explanations. So,
well, the whole they're replaced children.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that one before. I can't remember where, but I know the story where this guy knew that his child was not his child. It was something else. And so he remembered his grandmother telling him that if anything like this happens, take the child, go put it in the woods, put like some things around it or whatever, and it will get placed back to your actual child. And he did that, and he said everything was a lot differently after that and what he remembered her as.
Huh. I'll have to look into that for this. There's also a psychological explanation that I looked into.
Mm-hmm.
Skeptics suggest that sightings are a combination of sleep paralysis, urban legends, and collective hysteria, which, granted, yes, probably some of it is, but you can't, it stretches from Texas to Canada.
Which is probably why they said hysteria.
And, like, this way. Like, some stories may be memory dissertations or exaggerations, particularly because most encounters occur at night. So they're just, your mind playing tricks on you. And then there's cultural and folklore roots. Tales of eerie or malevolent children appear in global folklore, from Celtic changelings to Japanese yokai children. BECs are sometimes seen as modern adaptations of older myths, updated to fit contemporary films. I don't know why that felt very weird to say in my mouth. I have what they've influenced. Books and short stories, often in horror, paranormal genres, YouTube and Reddit discussions where many people share alleged sightings and experiences, internet creepypastas with fictionalized accounts building on real reports. Despite their prevalence in media and internet culture, there is no physical evidence of their existence. No photographs, no DNA, no. Their legend persists largely due to repeated storytelling, internet amplifications, and the psychological impact of reports. I even put why I thought that they were fascinating. So, the children are ordinary yet uncanny, triggering a sense of uncanny valley where something familiar is wrong. Encounters often occur in mundane settings, doorsteps, parking lots, roads, making the stories feel more believable than traditional monsters or supernatural beings. The legend blends folklore, psychological, and urban legends, creating a modern myth that continues to intrigue researchers, writers, and paranormal enthusiasts like us. That's all I got on my deep dive. I think. Let me flip through my papers. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they're kind of creepy little things, aren't they?
Yeah.
But basically, if you see one, all you gotta do is tell it no when it goes away. It doesn't do anything else. You tell it no, it leaves. It understands consent.
It doesn't sound like it's a very good...
Like, it wouldn't make a good movie.
No, it would not. But they would probably twist it, make it a good movie, and then everyone would be like, that's what it is.
It's a fairly new, modern one.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for mine? There's 7. Talking about 7 different ones, and they're all laws and alerts formed from people's name.
Oh.
And I got the idea after the Lindbergh kidnapping, called an obstrophe law, something like that. They are created in response to the tragic death or victimize of a child to improve safety and protection. So let's get into some. Now, I will say not all are children. And I also did not do all of them. There's a lot more that have pretty much the same concept. They just put a different name in because they're from a different state.
I do want to say I kind of find it messed up that this poor kid was either murdered or traumatized or something bad happened to it, and you're like, your name is forever going to be tied to this. This is you. Like, I find that a little messed up. Just...
There's Megan's Law. Her name is Megan Kanka, I think. She died in July of 1994. She was age 7.
Oh, poor baby.
it requires law enforcement to make information about registered sex offenders available to public.
Well, that's good. Still very messed up that you used her name. Like,
well, see, here's the thing. They use their names, but the actual law itself is not called their names. It is called something else.
Okay, good.
When you look up actual documents of it, they just say this is what it's from, and they have to put that detail
well,
in there.
Okay, so the nickname of the law is still messed up.
Anyways, in New Jersey, a girl was raped and killed by a known registered sex offender who had moved across the street from them, and the family did not have any knowledge of this sex offender. But the Kankas sought to have local communities warned about sex offenders in the area. All states now have a form of Megan's Law, which that is a good idea because, I mean, not all the time they're going to stay that way. There is a couple of chances where they're like, okay, well, that was my past, not doing that. Then you have the other ones that are going to keep doing it, and if no one knows about it, then they can get away with it.
Yeah.
But that law didn't pass until March of 2003.
That is a very long time.
All of these are a very long time. Actually, there's like probably a few that are like very short, but most of them are a long time. The other one, which everyone knows, Amber Alert.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Amber Hagerman. In January of 1996, she was age 9. This creates urgent, widespread notice to everyone about child abductions. In Texas, Amber was riding her bike at her grandma's house when she was abducted and murdered in a short time period. That the police couldn't get the word spread out fast enough for them to save her life. If they could have got it out a lot faster and quicker, then there would probably have been a bigger chance that she could have survived. But it passed in 1996 to participating radio stations only. Because, you know, at that time we didn't have the cell phones like we do now. I mean, they had phones. They were slowly just coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing like
what we have now.
Yeah.
Like, the minute that a kid is abducted now, you instantly know.
Yeah. But in 2003 is when it became a wide country spread thing. Oh, man. I didn't put that in red. So I have one more. Kaylee's Law. Her name is Kaylee Anthony. Why are you giving that look?
Because I feel like I know that name.
You do know that name.
I was thinking that's
Casey Anthony.
Yeah.
That's her daughter.
What's Kaylee's Law?
In June of 2008, and she was age 2.
I knew that.
It requires parents or guardians to report a missing child within a certain time frame.
She didn't report her child missing for 3 months or something, like a month?
Yeah. In Florida, Kaylee goes missing for 31 days. A while her mom was out partying and pretty much not caring about what's going on. And then finally she reports her daughter missing and then tries to blame it on a nanny that kidnapped her. And if I got it right,
the nanny wasn't true.
The nanny was fake.
Yeah, the nanny was fake. There's a show on HBO that I wanted to show you. It's of this crime scene investigator. She's a true crime scene investigator, and she investigated that case. And she talks all about the documents and
Well, see, there's actually a lot to this case.
There's so much. It's such a big case.
And one of the things is, I think, was lying. She would just save herself. Because in her first trial, she tried to claim that her dad has done things to her when she was little.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was probably the one that did something to her with Kaylee. Well, then when she went back in the trial again, she tried to claim that was her brother and her dad. And they're both they did an interview and they both were like, what the heck? They were blindsided by it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think that happened. I think that's just something she tried to come up with so this whole Kaylee thing won't fall on her.
But if you watch that crime scene show that I was telling you about, I'll find it and show you a clip from it. They show a picture of her skull when it was found, because by the time they found her, she had decomposed.
Yes.
She had tape around her face from here to here, wrapped around multiple times. That is not an accident killing. That is a murder.
They eventually did find her body in the woods near the family's house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big red flag right there. The law passed in 2011 after the July trial when no one agreed with the verdict. She didn't get sentenced for, I think, what everyone wanted her to get.
Mm-hmm.
she got a lesser known sentence, and everyone agrees that she did it and that she should have went to jail for a lot longer than what she did.
Well, yeah, there was so much evidence against her.
Not only that, she waited a month. Why would you do that? Like, who does that? Anyways,
what's crazy is that Kaylee would be our age now.
Yeah, I mean a little younger, but yeah. Now we have the Danny Kaiser. Some of these are acts, and some of these are alerts.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of forgot to put those if they were anything but a law.
That's okay.
Anyways, Danny Kaiser, he was age 1, and it happened in May of 1998. But it requires manufacturers of infant and toddler products to provide a product registration card and an online registration program, which is why you always get those stupid card things that most people throw away.
Oh, you're like, what is that for?
Yeah, which after reading this, I kind of feel guilty for doing that, but my kids are old enough that I'm like, well, the baby was killed in a play school travel light portable crib when the foldable side rails collapsed on his neck, strangling him. The defendant sold the play school travel light portable crib between 1990 and 1992. The portable crib featured 2 collapsible side rails, which were intended to make the portable crib easier to carry. Instead, the side rails formed a strangulation hazard if the portable crib collapsed while an infant was in it. 6 children has been killed in the same model of play school portable crib at the time of Danny's death. They couldn't notify the people to be like, hey, that is defective. Yeah.
A recall.
But the law passed in 2010.
Well, I mean, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
I feel guilty now about
throwing them away.
Yeah.
Because I always got them and I was like, I don't need this.
You're just like, well.
Then there's Carrie's law. Her name is Carrie Hunt. This is one where she's not a kid. It happened in December of 2013 in Texas. Carrie was attacked and killed by her estranged husband in a hotel room. Carrie's 9-year-old daughter was in the room. Actually, all of her kids were in the room while this was happening. But her 9-year-old daughter was in the room trying to call 911 on the hotel's phone. She dialed 911 4 times, but not one of her calls ever went through because the hotel phones required to dial a 9 before calling outside of the hotel, even for the 911 calls. So that law is passed to put pretty much you can call 911 through the hotel phones without adding numbers.
That's smart.
Easier. To be honest, if I don't understand why they have it like that. If our phones, if they're completely turned off with no service, you can still call 911. Why didn't they do that for hotels?
That is true too.
So that should have been a law a long time ago.
So long.
But it didn't pass until 2018.
Dang.
Yeah. And then we have...
Think of how many people's lives could have been saved.
When it comes to kids trying to do it, yes. Adults, I mean, most of them have their phone, so I don't know. It's really more of a toss-up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess depends on the situation. But then it takes us to the Lindbergh Law.
Which we know the Lindbergh Law. It's not a bad law. I'm still just trying to figure out where the logic came from.
Charles Jr., age 20-month-old, happened in March of 1932. It's kidnapping cases involving interstate transport. But the 20-month-old baby got kidnapped from home while sleeping. They got ransom notes that said they were in another state waiting to do exchanges of the ransom money for the baby. And when the Lindberghs get to the location, no baby, and I put or boat, but it doesn't describe there was a boat, was there, and they eventually found the baby in a shallow grave nearby. This law passed in 1932.
It's not a bad law. Please don't take it that way. It just doesn't make that much sense to me for this case.
Well, see, when you do a deep dive in the case, yes, it makes no sense. But when you hear about the whole kidnapping and then the ransom note where they were in a different state, that's where the law comes into.
But once you do a deep dive into this case, you're going to be like, no. Also, his dad was a big old dick.
Anyways, then we have Schuyler's Law, which
Is that about the girls who killed their best friend?
Yes.
I figured.
Her name is Skylar Neese, age 16, in July of 2012. But it improves the Amber Alert system to help finding missing people, not just abductions. But in West Virginia, Skylar snuck out of her house to hang out with her friends, didn't tell anyone where she was going, and her friends were eventually caught, and they are the ones that killed her. And the law passed in 2017.
4 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, laws take forever to pass. It just takes dedication, because if you give up, then that law pretty much isn't, I don't think is going to go through. But most of these people do campaigns and go to every meeting and all that.
Well, I'm very glad that some of these people are. You can tell who has connections, though. Lindbergh.
Some of these pretty much name the law after their kids because of the tragic accidents.
That is a little awful. That, like, your child's memory is now tied to something horrific that happened to them.
I mean, either way it is, no matter what. And then my last one is called Megan's Law.
We started with the Megan's Law.
No, this is a different one. Her name was Megan Muir, age 13, in October of 2006. I did not write down what the law helped, but she died by suicide, by hanging herself, but less than 3 weeks before her 14th birthday. A year later, Muir's parents prompted an investigation into the matter, and her suicide was a tribute to cyberbullying through the social networks. Her so-called friend and her friend's mom was pretending to be a guy that fell in love with Megan, and when she got hurt, she ended up killing herself.
I wonder if the movie Cyberbully is based off of that.
But that same friend and her mom, because their birthdays were very close together, so they did birthdays together.
Like we used to.
And so after that tragic accident, they invited their parents over and said, hey, you know, your daughter would want you to be here. Why don't you come join us? And they ended up doing a little memorial table in the birthday party as well. And the parents were like, no, I can't do this. And they left, but they found out those are the ones that ended up making this fake boyfriend. And then they turned around and made the guy pretty much making fun of her and going to make rumors about her in school that were really bad, and it drove her to kill herself.
Poor girl.
But that law passed in 2008.
I'm sure it had something to do with the cyberbullying.
Yeah, because they did private message, and then when stuff started to change, making fun of her and stuff, he would post on the social media talking bad about her, and everyone would start agreeing and going in on it. Yeah. But that's all I got. Please like and subscribe.
Hit the bell so you can get notifications when we post our episodes.
Thank you for listening to Dark Conversations.
Have a good night and
keep your darkness at bay.
Bye!